Welcome to Actual Scale Modelling. This is part 5 of Galvary Models VH34D Marine 1. Scale is 1 to 48. This is an old trumpeter kit in case you don't know who Galvary models are. I only found it out from looking at ScaleMate. So in this part I'm going to be concentrating on putting in the cockpit and connecting the fuselage together. So let's jump into this and see how well I get on. To start off with, I'm prepping some parts, so I'm painting the photo etch parts, and I'm using for that Mr. Hobby 76 Bond Iron, and it's all the mesh parts that I'm painting here with this colour. It's all the radiator vent covers and so on. Then it's onto the fuselage, and I'm placing in the clear windows. And I'll, as always, when I use clear parts, I'm using microcrystal clear as the cement. These windows need a little bit of trimming up. It's just a tiny amount of flash on them, and of course the little parts, the excess from this the sprue itself, but it shouldn't cause anyone any problems. Next is to put the cockpit in the fuselage. Now there's various little contact points there for you to put your cement in. There's a couple of raised areas inside the fuselage yourself, and these all sit proudly on the capsule. Don't worry so much about if you haven't cemented the top part in place. As you can see there, mine moves around a bit. I did this on purpose because I wasn't sure of the exact alignment of it. So once the fuselage was together, it gives me a little bit of scope just to get things into alignment. Interestingly, this kit comes with a rear interior section. It's just a walkway and a bulkhead, but you really don't have to put it in, because once this is all sealed, you'll not see, even if you have the tail open, you will not see this, because there's a cap that goes on at the end of the tail. So I don't know what purpose this serves really, but I thought I'd put it in anyway, just to show you it going in. The bulkhead didn't fit exactly where the location points were. It seemed the location points were a little bit higher than they should have been, so I just put it down on the next ridge, so that way the bulkhead connected with the floor as well as the top of the fuselage. The end part here, there's a couple of options in the instructions to use. There's a more detailed part or a plain part. Because I'm having my tail in the fixed position, I'm just putting in the plain part, but you can see the options there for you to utilize if you wish. Now these two things, I wouldn't recommend leaving them off, even though you may not say like the blank one, because the location point forms part of the bracket for the tail, so you would end up having to fill that if you didn't place them in. The lineup for these was quite good. It just slotted in without any problem. It's now time to close up the fuselage. I've only cemented the front part of the fuselage, so where the cockpit is. This is just for one, ease of handling, and two, I can control the bond as I go down the fuselage, so I don't get any rise up from the seam, and it's either then just to hold everything in place and work my way down. I did decide to put some clamps on it, as you can see. This again was just so that I can leave it to cure on its own, and I can move on to other things. Now it's dried, I've removed the clamps, and I can then cement the remaining part of the fuselage. Again, I'm putting this under clamp, but that's, as I said, just time saving. It's not really necessary on this kit to have all these clamps if you don't want to. So it's onto the nose cone, and first of all there's a little clear part I've got to go in, and this is at the base of the nose cone. I would assume it's for a camera type thing. And then it was time to fit the nose cone, and this is where I ran into quite a lot of difficulties here. I couldn't get it to fit. I tried fitting it for ages, but it would appear initially that the exhaust was stopping it from fitting, so I cut that off. Now I don't know whether it was because I put in the wrong place. I had a look at the location points. They seem to be fine. So I don't know whether it was my error or it was just a design fault. I'm not 100% sure. But I did have to cut off the exhaust. Now, I will be refitting these near the end of the build. They'll just get popped into that hole where my finger is. But it was slightly annoying. And when I put on the second half, again, I could not get this to line up. So the whole engine block this time was stopping it from lining up. Again, I looked at all my location points to make sure I hadn't made any mistakes, and everything seemed to be in place how it should be. I think it's just a combination of an awkward shape and the way the engine sits in. There's not a lot of room once this nose cone the engine goes in. I think it's designed in such a way as you either display the engine with the nose cone open, or you don't put the engine in to close up the nose cone. But I was concerned about the weight. If I didn't put anything in there, it may table it, so I've left the engine in. In the end, I couldn't get it to fit, so I took it off and assembled the nose cone before placing it on. I dry fitted this a couple of times, and this seemed to be the better option. And before I fitted it, I put in the bottom part of the fuselage. No, the instructions say do this later on, but it acted as another lineup for the nose cone, so I'm going to have better areas to cement the nose cone onto. And of course, it means I'm not trying to shoehorn this bottom part in anyway. So I used the clamp just to make sure the bottom part of the fuselage wasn't moving, and then I fitted the nose cone. It fit a lot better, but because I already cemented it and taken it off, there was a little bit of damage to it, so that's going to have to be addressed. As you can see, the line there is slightly melted plastic that is going to have to be sanded down and filled. It's not a big job to do, and it is of my own making. But I'd rather it be like this than trying to fit a nose cone that really wasn't fitting. So I filled the seams with Villaggio plastic putty, and once that was dried, left it a good couple of hours. It was time to sand back and get everything smooth once more. The seam work I'd done a little bit off camera. I didn't realise I wasn't recording at the time when I was sorting out the seams after I put the nose cone on. But what I did was I took my hobby knife and ran it down the seam to get rid of any the melted plastic, and then used the filler to fill those gaps. And the sanding is a fairly simple process. Start off with a coarse grit, and I'm going to be working down to a fine grit of sandpaper. And so I thought, well, I've got the sanding stick, so I'll just go over the seams on the fuselage. Now, there wasn't a lot of work needing to be done here. Like the nose cone, I started off with a rougher grit of sanding paper, then worked my way down. This is the fine one that I'm using at the moment, just putting all the finishing touches to the seams. This is where I'll end part 5. I'll carry on sanding down these seams until I'm happy with it. So if you haven't done so already, why don't you subscribe to the channel? And if you do subscribe, please hit the notification bell. That way you'll be kept up to date not only for this build, but all my future builds as well, of course. I really do appreciate when you subscribe to the channel. I don't really promote my channel that much, but I do ask you to subscribe. It just helps really the channel. While you're there, feel free to leave a comment, and of course hit that like button. You can also share the video if you wish, and that helps as well. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you on the next part. Bye for now.